The training hall was designed to celebrate modern warfare: chrome surfaces, glowing interfaces, alien tacticians whose bodies were part machine and part weapon. In that room of precision and algorithms, the recurved wooden bow in Instructor Cale Horvath's hands looked completely out of place. Ancient. Almost insulting. A relic from a time before shields, plasma arrays, and predictive combat software. Horvath didn't apologize for it. She stood calmly, her posture relaxed but dangerous, like someone who had already survived every bad decision the universe could offer. She explained, bluntly, that violence did not begin with advanced technology. It began with hands, intent, and repetition. The bow was not a museum piece, it was proof. Lieutenant Vest, a Tavani officer whose kill efficiency was measured by software, mocked the weapon openly. To him, it was primitive, laughable. Commander Shear, a crystalline V tactician, tried to rationalize it as a psychological artifact from Earth's early conflicts. Horvath dismissed them both. With a movement too fast to follow, she drew and released. There was no dramatic build-up, no warning. One moment the bow was still. The next, an arrow was embedded dead center in a target 40 meters away. The class hadn't even finished inhaling. Shock rippled through the room. Vask, a Crush warrior built entirely around reflex and reaction speed, admitted his combat analysis had failed. Horvath explained why: their systems were designed to detect energy, heat, signals. The arrow produced none of those. It was silent, cold, and final. She forced the skeptics to stay. The atmosphere shifted from academic to predatory. This wasn't a lecture anymore. It was a demonstration of something older than technology, intent sharpened by experience. Horvath made it clear: batteries fail, plasma leaves trails, and advanced weapons announce themselves. The bow did none of that. This wasn't about nostalgia. It was about reality. And the cadets were beginning to understand that their perfect defenses were built to stop threats they expected, not threats that didn't care about rules. Horvath laid out new rules. She would fire. The cadets could move, if they could. Vask went first. His species was engineered for speed, processing threats in milliseconds. He took his stance confidently, trusting his reflexes. That confidence lasted until the arrow pinned his sleeve to the wall before his legs even responded. He hadn't seen the release. There was no warning to react to. Next was Lieutenant Vest. He rejected reflex entirely and relied on predictive logic. He calculated angles, trajectories, and probabilities, positioning cover where his models said the arrow would go. When Horvath fired, Vest moved exactly as his projections advised. The arrow passed him completely, and buried itself through the mannequin he had chosen as cover. Horvath explained calmly that he didn't outthink the shot. He revealed his intention long before the arrow ever flew. Predictive psychology wasn't about math. It was a conversation. She aimed where she knew he would go, not where he stood. The lesson deepened. Humans did not evolve to hunt stationary targets. They hunted prey that ran, hid, and fought back. Speed meant nothing if the hunter was already aiming at where you would end up. Shaken, the three cadets retreated to the archives. What they found there was worse than embarrassment. Horvath's service record showed 14 years in human reconnaissance, roles with absurdly low survival rates. She wasn't a conventional soldier. She was something else entirely. Human history revealed terrifying consistency. They developed projectile weapons before writing. They carried ancient tools into the age of stars. They were persistence predators, creatures that followed prey until it collapsed. Hunting wasn't a transaction to them. It was a relationship. When confronted, Horvath admitted she had killed with the bow. Enough times that counting stopped meaning anything. She made it clear: the cadets wanted efficiency. She survived long enough to teach it. And the lesson wasn't finished yet. Horvath gave them one final exercise. Hide anywhere in the facility. In 1 hour, she would place a training arrow within arm's reach of each of them. They would never see her do it. Vest chose chaos, the mess hall, crowds, noise, sensors overwhelmed by activity. 14 minutes later, he reached for his drink. An arrow rested perfectly on the rim of his cup. Vask sealed himself inside reinforced quarters guarded by squad mates and biometric locks. 23 minutes in, an image appeared on his console. The arrow lay on his pillow. Sheer trusted absolute surveillance. He monitored every camera from security operations. 31 minutes passed. Then an arrow appeared in the headrest of the command chair, inches from where the station chief had been standing. Carved into the shaft were the words, "Behind you works every time." They regrouped in silence, humiliated and shaken. Vest desperately searched for a technological explanation. Teleportation. Cloaking. Anything. Horvath corrected him with one word, terrain. They had locked themselves into boxes. She simply walked through the doors they ignored, maintenance corridors, delivery routes, shift changes. She didn't infiltrate. She belonged. Human hunting wasn't about speed or superiority. It was about patience. Observation. Waiting until prey convinced itself it was safe. She explained Earth before the coalition, crowded, violent, full of predators that learned other predators made the best targets. Humans refined violence for thousands of years, then ran out of worthy opponents. So they looked to the stars. As the cadets prepared to leave, one final question lingered. Could she have killed them instead of placing the arrows? Horvath answered softly. If she had wanted them dead, there would have been no conversation. Left alone in the range, she maintained her bow, checking the string, feeling the familiar tension. The coalition had millions of soldiers, advanced shields, and perfect weapons. Humanity brought none of that. What humans brought was patience. The terrifying willingness to watch something until it stopped moving. Somewhere in the facility, 3 cadets were learning the oldest lesson prey ever learns, slowly, then all at once, then forever. And the hunt continued.